All right, everybody, welcome to a special late night edition of Teaching Crypto. AZ Crypto flying solo. Please hit that like, please hit that subscribe and bell notification. Super chats and the store are open. Kind of a historic day today as Bitcoin climbed to 64K, got rejected. Coinbase briefly for a few hours went down, kind of scary. A lot of people use it for their off ramp, and also it's not good for the number one exchange in the United States to go down. Um, so, honestly, a bit of a mixed bag, but overall, still extremely bullish. Now, I have to come on and talk about Solana, right? Solana's up over 15%, and we talked about this. Um, Here's the thing. Sol's been kind of sitting there in the low 100s. It actually hit 98 early this week. We talked about it coiling up and gathering support. And what do you know? Right before I went on the air, it went up to 124. Remember my prediction, I had Sol going to 200 by the end of March, but I would look for entertainment purposes only to take profits at 180. Chainlink is one, and some people asked me today, if I'm not in the market, I wanted to buy an alt, what is a safe good buy? I'm going to go back to Chainlink. Now, yesterday and today, when Bitcoin made its move, Chainlink was about to go nuts and it retraced, and now it's back around 19. And here's the thing about Chainlink, you may or may not have heard, but they were named the proof of reserve for ARK investment for the BTC ETF that they have. So that's kind of significant. And they might be named that for other BTC ETFs. So Chainlink here is a nice play for me for entertainment purposes. Only got to say that. Um, Under 20 right now. I think Chainlink has a nice March. And so if you're buying something and looking to take profits before the halving, which might be a sell event, Chainlink to me right now, we're sitting at 1972, is a good one to pick up. Uh, Also, got to mention VeChain. VeChain is sitting below 5 cents again. It went up to 5 cents, came back down. And what about Jasmy token, which we mentioned earlier this week? Well, it's up 50%. We talked about that being connected to the Japanese market, an explosive day for Jasmy coin. It almost wasn't affected by the crash. And I don't even want to call it a crash, right? You go from 64 to 60, not that big of a deal. Obviously, you don't want to see Coinbase go down, uh, but they did get it back up within a few hours. And right now, we're sitting between 61 and 62. I do expect Bitcoin to bounce back pretty healthily over the next couple days. I expect to get back over 64, if not tomorrow, by Friday. And I expect us to close possibly at above 65, which is amazing, well over schedule, right? So I was just hoping, honestly, for Bitcoin to hit 60 or 62 or 63 in March. We've exceeded that. I was hoping to see us kind of make a run at 70. And I think right now, a 75K Bitcoin before the halving is not out of the question. This channel prides itself on being honest. I do think, here's the thing, we know nothing goes up forever. Even during a bull run, there's going to be retraces. We saw that today. I do think that if you're out of the market sometime in late April, would be a good time to get in. Now, remember, we've got that ETH ETF sitting at May 23rd, and we're about 49 days before the Bitcoin halving. So a lot going on. If you're holding the alt and you're a little frustrated, don't worry. If your alt hasn't pumped, I think that's happening in March and April. But we want to remind you to be aggressive and take profits during the entire bull run, because otherwise you're just a winner on paper, and you want to avoid that. So today was a crazy day, right? Um, do I think we know the whole story about what happened with Coinbase and that little dump that happened? Not little. I mean, 64 to 60 is not small, but we've seen bigger dumps before. Do I think we know the entire story? I'm not sure, right? Coinbase and Armstrong claims that they got 10x the amount of people going on the site and using the app. I don't know. I feel like they should be prepared for something like that, knowing, everyone that's done their homework here knows that we've, 2 months before having are starting a bull run. Bitcoin's above 50, Bitcoin's above 60. You know that people are going to be using the app, and for them not to be ready seems kind of fishy to me. I don't want to just go into conspiracies tonight, but I'm just a little curious as to what happened because right when that it kind of seems like the app went down right before the drop from 64 to 60. And so that is interesting to me. I'll just say that. Hopefully, we don't see that again for the rest of this cycle. That would hopefully be what we want. ETH is doing great. Again, I'm going to keep saying it. I see ETH having an easy path to 4K in March. In fact, at this point, it would shock me if we didn't get to 5K before we get final news on the ETH ETF. We reported this yesterday. Several companies will meet with the SEC about the ETH ETF in March. And if they are told to edit their proposals, well, that's going to be extremely bullish for ETH. And when ETH goes up, Solana is not far behind because it is one of the competitors. And so, we're going to see some alts, I think, here run again. I'm always honest with you guys. I really like VeChain. I like Solana. I like Muse. And I think those will have nice marches. There'll be other tokens that do very well. Jasmy, I don't know if it's done running, to be honest with you. I mean, I never like to chase a pump, but that one seems like it's just gathering and gathering steam, and Asia is behind it. And I expect VeChain to do something similar, maybe not as quick. My price prediction, I'm going to give you one before I go off the air for March. I'd like VeChain to sometime in March make a push for 8 cents. So sitting at under 5 cents right now, not a bad pickup at all. And in fact, before the halving, it might make a run to 10 cents. We'll have to wait and see. Again, nothing goes up. And I do anticipate, we keep saying this, there will be some type of pullback around the halving. Now, how long that pullback lasts, nobody knows, right? So just be prepared to take profits. If you're waiting to get into Bitcoin and you're waiting for a massive drop, I have to say, I don't think you're going to see under 50K for the rest of this run. I know some people, not a lot, are still calling for a dip back into the 40s. I just don't see it. Just the ETF volume is just too high. They're only creating so much Bitcoin, right? And you're getting closer to the halving. And we haven't really heard that much from the mainstream media yet. Some, but wait until Bitcoin creates an all-time high. If Bitcoin gets above 75 before the halving and you start hearing whispers of it might be going to 100, you're going to see some major FOMO. And I'm not talking about my co-host. I'm talking about big money going into the ETFs and people that are sidelined coming back in. There are still people that are sidelined that have cold feet because of all the destruction that happened with FTX, with Voyager. I hate to say it. I know a lot of us were in that. And with Celsius and with 3AC. And because of all that, people still have cold feet. But when they see Bitcoin as a runaway train, it's hard not to want to jump on that train. And so when retail jumps back in and you've got the ETFs and you've got the major banks, it's just hard not to be bullish. But here's the deal, guys. Keep it here for the latest. We thank you so much for your support. Anytime you hit that like, that subscribe button, we really appreciate it as we make our run to 2,000 subs. You guys have a great evening. I just wanted to check in, and we'll be back soon. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.